Hello everybody, welcome back to another farm sim tutorial. This time around we've been asked to create a sugar beet tutorial. So what I have here behind me in game is all of the machinery that you're going to need in order to do your sugar beets. Me personally, I'm not a fan of sugar beet. I've done it a couple of times in my active farms. And personally I prefer sugarcane, but take that as you will. Um, this is all of the equipment that you are going to need. We'll kind of go through it quickly in the store here to give you an idea of the type of investment you're getting into. So first thing you're going to need is the planter. If you don't have one already in your game, let's come in here to planter. So not a seeder, but you're going to need a planter. And just about any of these in here will work. So you have a myriad of options. The one I have attached right now is the Kenzie at 18 meters wide. Again, this is simply just for the tutorial. Things here like the Coverland, the Horse, they work just fine as well. Obviously, they're a little bit smaller, but they also require less horsepower to pull. Just got the big boy here for the sake of this tutorial. The other thing you're going to need that is a one-off investment for sugar beet is the harvester. When it comes time to harvest, you're going to want one of these beet harvesters here, preferably the Ropa or the Homer. This other guy here, the Artifact, will also work. But just looking at its storage size, 18.5, you're going to much prefer one of these so you're not constantly emptying out. If you can't afford the Tiger, is my recommendation. I would lease it until you can. If you're trying to save money and you go with the Amity technology here, how this works, you'll run over with this defoiler first, and this will cut the tops off of the sugar beet, and then you'll follow up with the scrub, and this will pull the sugar beets out of the ground. However, you have to have somebody riding next to you for the most part because it's only going to carry 6.5 meters of product. Um, Basically, that 6,500 liters is what that comes out to. So it's not going to carry too much. I suppose if you want to do it on a budget, you could go that route, but it is going to be a lot more work. So my recommendation goes to the Ulmer or the Ropa, and when you're using those, you're going to want to use one of these headers, and you want to use the header respectfully to the machine. If you're trying to use the red header on the yellow machine or vice versa, it's going to drag on the ground. You're going to be doing like 1 miles an hour while you're trying to harvest. Um, I've personally done it. It was miserable. I instantly refunded the header, bought the other one, and then life was great. My big recommendation goes towards the Ropa. If you can afford it or lease it, do it. Um, the other piece of equipment you're going to need, should you wish to cut the sugar beet into sugar beet cut, is this bucket. And this bucket is painful. Not gonna not gonna sugarcoat it, pun intended. This is the only way base game to cut your sugar beets. In my last Let's Play, when I was making cakes, I did one or two harvests using this bucket, and I swore I would never use it again. It's super slow, it's messy, it's painful. Should you have a small enough field, or should you not care about cutting sugar beet, then harvesting sugar beets is not too bad. But cutting them is a pain. So there are mods out there, and I don't usually push people towards mods, but if you want all of your sugar beets cut, there is a really good mod out there that turns your auger wagons into cutters. So the one I have pulled up for the tutorial is this Immers here. And essentially how this works with the mod is that you'll dump all your sugar beet into the back of this, and then you'll put your, sometimes you can put them directly from here into your sell point or your factory, and they will get cut as they come out of the chute here. Sometimes it'll go directly in, and sometimes it won't. Sometimes you'll have to put this chute into the back of a semi-truck trailer or just a farm trailer, and then dump from there into your factory. So play with it and see what works for you. I've had it work both ways. It's a little bit hit or miss with this mod, but it's much easier to have a trailer like this, just cut your sugar beet when they come out, than it is to keep siphoning everything through that bucket. With that said, the crop of sugar beet is fairly straightforward. We go ahead and hop into this tractor here. So you're going to want your fields cultivated. You don't need any special plowing or anything like that. No special preparation for the fields. Go ahead and unfold this here. Again, this is the big planter, but there's other options out there that are much more affordable. Alright, we're all set for sugar beet planting. Go ahead and turn on the seeder. I'm going to lower the seeder, and we're just going to give it a roll here. And you should see the ground texture changing behind us. And that's your sugar beet going into the ground. I'll go ahead and hop out here. And you can see here, sugar beet is now growing. Again, not too bad to plant, but let me go ahead and get this sugar beet planted and grown. And I will be right back to show you guys how the harvest works and what the whole processing process is like, because quite frankly, with sugar beet, that's the most interesting part. So anyways, guys, I will be right back, and we'll go from there. So we're back. Our sugar beet is all grown, ready to harvest. We're similarly to potatoes, instead of saying it's ready to harvest, it's going to simply say in the bottom growth stage, in the bottom right, if you see that, it's going to say remove foliage. Once you see that, you know your sugar beet is ready to be harvested. You can hop on our machine and get to it. So with this ropa and the ropa header, you need to unfold both items. So we're going to go ahead and unfold the header. I'm going to unfold the harvester. Alright, ready to work. We lower the header. Pull up to the field here. Put that on. Well, the other thing before I get into this, with this rope, there's two ways of turning it. So if we go select the machine in the top left, with RB or whatever the control is on the keyboard, right there where you see toggle steering mode. Right now it's turn steering, so you'll see when I turn my cab left or right, it's going to kind of wiggle. If I turn that to, I have crab steering. If I turn that to all wheel steering, you'll see all my wheels turn, but my head does not. The front of the vehicle does not. So depending on what your preference is, you can swap that up. For the sake of this video, I'm going to leave it so we're all one piece here, turning in unison, so it doesn't get all crazy with the camera. Go ahead, turn on the steering assist. Get my lines here, there we go. Turn this thing on. And we're just going to go. And you'll see here, it starts picking up the sugar beet. It's a pretty seamless process. And you see them dropping into the bucket. And now this harvester will carry about 40, I think it's 43,000 liters of sugar beet. So you won't constantly be running back and forth to your trailers to offload and all of that. It's also an all-in-one unit, so you don't need a separate tractor to pull this. Yeah, just nice and convenient. So once you've got your sugar beet harvested, I'll go ahead and get, I don't know, 5,000-6,000 liters in here, and I will show you what the cutting process looks like. Actually, let's go ahead and gather up a little bit more here so we can do both styles of cutting. And obviously, you can take this to your sugar mill and let the sugar mill process it as just sugar beet. But you could also take it and have it processed as sugar beet cut. And you can actually have your sugar mill process both products at the same time. So go ahead and turn this off. I'll head back down there real quick. The way this works for cutting sugar beet, kind of a trick. I can just offload directly into the tractor or the trailer here, and that would just offload my sugar beet. The bucket that we have, you can offload into the bucket, and we have to be careful that we I don't think it'll let you straight offload into the ground, but now that we have that extended, I'm going to hop out here and get in my tractor. Now, for this process, I highly recommend putting weight on the back of whatever tractor you pick up. So I've got the heaviest weight I could buy. And you can see here, it's going to start dumping into my bucket. It's going to stop. It's not going to overflow, so don't worry about that. But then when I go to cut this, and I'll take this over here to the trailer. See if I can get in that truck real quick. And now when I cut the sugar beet, go ahead and make sure your bucket is selected on the top left, and then you're going to turn on the front loader tool, and you're going to see it comes and begins to starts cutting it. And you can see our cut sugar beet going into the trailer there. Now another thing you can do if you want cut sugar beet, get this set up here. Don't mind the kind of just the process, guys, bear with me here. We're going to leave the tractor like that, come back over to this. I don't want to offload just yet. And again, this is only the process if you do not have that sugar beet cutting mod that I have right there in that blue bucket. If you have that mod, you can dump into it and have it cut sugar beet for you. Without the mod, what you want to do is cut some sugar beet first, about 10 to 15% of a trailer worth, and have the trailer carry that cut sugar beet. That way you don't accidentally replace the crop type when offloading here. Because what's going to happen here, we're going to extend this, and we're going to hope that it goes into our bucket. And see, we missed. So it went into the trailer. Now we have regular sugar beet in there instead of cut sugar beet. That's the risky run. That gives me an opportunity. What we can do, the only way to store sugar beet is either at the train silo. It's the only silo in the game that can store it. Unless you get a modded silo, which a lot of people do for this crop. The other option you have is from the trailer, and not from the harvester, but from the trailer. You can actually just unload it wherever. And you can store the crop just like that. That's how it's meant to be, air quote, stored. Back there. And when it's on the ground, we'll have to go back and get our tractor with the bucket. The only upside of this particular bucket, it works as the cutter as well as a scoop. So we can just pick our sugar beet back up. I can go back over to the trailer and begin to cut. Turn that on. And now that product that was in here that we just cut, those 2,000 liters, because we messed up our drop there, we just straight lost that product. There's no getting it back. That's one of the dangers you run, and why I mentioned you want the trailer to remain about 10 to 15% full at all times while you're doing this of cut sugar beet, because then the game will not allow a different product in your trailer. You can't override cut sugar beet with regular sugar beet. So when you're doing these runs, make sure the first 10 to 15% of the trailer is cut safely. When you're offloading your trailer at your sugar factory, make sure to maintain 10 to 15% remaining in the truck. Never do a full offload unless it's your last offload of the season. My air quote pro tip when it comes to sugar beet. Again, this is all just from lessons learned from my couple of experiences doing this. Hopefully that saves you guys some headaches. That's in there, and I don't think I'm at 10 or 15%. I'm at 9%. Back to the tractor. So the key places to take sugar once you have it are going to be either, let me get here at the construction point. You can take the cut sugar beet to a sugar mill. You can, let's see, like the farmer market will take it. Yeah, the farmers markets will take them. Some of the grain river silos here on Riverbend will take them. That is a sell point, not a store point. The barges will take them. And then of course, when we're talking about cut sugar beet, so for cut sugar beet, you could also sell it as animal feed to the animal dealer. You take it to the biomass plants, farmer markets. You have all kinds of places you can sell this. And then of course it does work in your factories. So you can use that to, let me get my finance sheet back up here. There we go. You could use the cut sugar beet and regular sugar beet to make sugar. And then once you have sugar made, you can take it to all these other places here to sell it, or you can further process it into things such as chocolate or cake, right? They're much longer, a longer term factory product, if you will. It's a long process to get there, and my experience with cake is that in the end it just wasn't worth it. You'll see here cake has a very high sell value. The problem is cakes don't generate very quickly, so you're going to need multiple bakeries to keep making cakes at any kind of volume so that you can have a steady flow to sell. I suppose if you built a whole franchise, you know, with 5 or 10 bakeries, then you're probably okay. But yeah, it's things to consider. If I were to do it all over again, I'd probably leave my sugar for just raw sugar cells, or possibly just make things like chocolate and just let that pump out. So yeah, guys, I hope this has been helpful. Sorry, I'm a little bit all over the place here. Oh, almost forgot, guys. One other thing before I wrap it up here on the sugar beet tutorial. I talked about this sugar beet auger wagon mod. I wanted to show you guys that real quick, and then before I wrap this up, I'll go out and show you what that mod is in my mod list. And you can get that mod off of the FS25 mod website. And yeah, if you guys are on PC and you want to grab this mod, I'll leave a link to it down in the video description. I don't know if it works on consoles. If not, there's very likely a mod made for consoles that will work. But with that said, let me go ahead and show you guys how this works. Simply offload into the modded trailer. And you're going to see it remains as regular sugar beet. If I get out and look at the trailer, you'll see in the bottom right, it's got 7,614 liters of regular old sugar beet. But if you want that as cut sugar beet, let me go ahead and pull forward here. All you have to do, I could offload this into a trailer if I wanted. I could offload this into a factory if I wanted to process it into sugar. Or I can offload it here at the farmer's market. And you'll see the little nozzle coming up here. As soon as that gets extended, you'll see it starts selling as cut sugar beet. So this is a much faster and much cleaner process than that bucket. And unfortunately in the base game, that bucket is the only way we currently have to cut sugar beet. Hopefully that changes in the future, but for now that's what we have, guys. And again, I hope this has been helpful. Let me log out here real quick of my game, and I'm going to show you what that mod is. So right here is the sugar beet cutter pack. This is the mod you guys are looking for out on the Farming Simulator mod hub. Again, link for this will be in the description below. I hope this video has been helpful. And I wish you the best of luck with your sugar beet. Remember to like, subscribe, to follow along for all the upcoming tutorials, and let me know what you'd like to see next. Take care, guys.